Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other socials for more. Enjoy. Leah stepped inside, her blue dress swishing softly around her knees. She paused in the entryway, slipping off her heels with a sigh of relief. "Pearl, you home?" she called out, padding barefoot into the living room. A muffled response came from the back bedroom. "In here, just finishing up some work." Leah flopped onto the couch, stretching her legs out. The dress rode up slightly, revealing shapely calves. She smoothed it back down absently, mind already drifting to their financial situation. The rent for this place was steep, eating into their savings each month. It felt like their dreams were always just out of reach. A knock at the door startled her from her reverie. Leah hesitated, glancing down at her outfit. She wasn't exactly dressed for company, but another insistent rap had her rising to her feet. She opened the door to find their neighbor Sean standing there, a friendly grin on his face. His eyes widened slightly as he took in her appearance. "Oh, hey, Leah. Wow, you look great. That color really suits you." Leah felt a flush creep up her neck. "Thanks, Sean. What's up?" He held up a colorful flyer. "Having a little neighborhood barbecue this weekend. Wanted to invite you and Pearl personally. You'll come, right?" "Oh, that sounds fun. I'm sure we'd love to," Leah replied, taking the flyer. "What time?" "Starts at 3 on Saturday, and hey," Sean's grin widened, "maybe you could wear that dress again. It's a real knockout." Leah laughed, a mix of pleased and flustered. "We'll see. Thanks for the invite, Sean." As she closed the door, Pearl emerged from the bedroom. "Who was that?" "Sean from next door. We're invited to a barbecue on Saturday." Leah handed over the flyer. He suggested I wear this dress again." Pearl's eyebrows shot up. "Oh, really? Sounds like someone's got a crush." Leah swatted her sister's arm playfully. "Stop it, he was just being nice." Sure." Pearl's teasing smile faded as she glanced at the flyer, then back at Leah. "You know, I've been thinking, maybe we should consider moving somewhere cheaper. We could save so much more for our surgeries." Leah sighed, sinking back onto the couch. "I know, but I love it here. It feels safe, you know? And the neighbors are so accepting." Pearl sat beside her, taking her hand. "True, I just hate feeling stuck." "We're not stuck," Leah insisted. "We're just taking the scenic route. We'll get there." The sisters sat in comfortable silence for a moment, each lost in thought. Finally, Pearl squeezed Leah's hand. "So, this dress, think I could borrow it sometime?" Leah laughed. "Get your own knockout dress, sis." The days passed quickly, and soon Saturday arrived. Leah stood in front of the mirror, smoothing down the blue dress. She'd spent extra time on her makeup, wanting to look her best. A light knock on her bedroom door preceded Pearl poking her head in. "Hey, you almost ready? We should head over soon and—" Pearl stopped short, her eyes widening. "Oh, no." Leah turned, confused. "What's wrong?" Pearl stepped fully into the room, revealing an identical blue dress. Great minds think alike, I guess. Leah's jaw dropped. "You've got to be kidding me. Pearl, I told you I was wearing this." "No, you didn't," Pearl protested. "You just said you were wearing a dress. I thought this would be perfect for the occasion." "It is perfect," Leah groaned. "That's why I'm wearing it. You need to change." Pearl crossed her arms. "Why should I change? Maybe you should change." "Because Sean specifically asked me to wear this dress." "Oh, so this is about impressing Sean now?" The argument escalated, voices rising as each sister refused to back down. It wasn't until a loud thump from the apartment below startled them both that they fell silent, glaring at each other. Leah took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. "This is ridiculous. We're acting like children." Pearl's shoulders slumped. "You're right. I'm sorry. I should have asked you what you were wearing." "And I'm sorry for yelling," Leah replied, reaching out to squeeze her sister's hand. "Look, why don't we both change? We have other nice dresses." Pearl nodded, a small smile forming. Okay, but next time we coordinate our outfits beforehand, deal?
Deal,
Leah laughed. They spent the next half hour trying on different options, eventually settling on complementary outfits. Leah chose a flowing sundress in a soft yellow, while Pearl opted for a mint green wrap dress. By the time they were ready to leave, the earlier tension had dissipated entirely. The sisters made their way down to the courtyard where the barbecue was in full swing. Neighbors milled about, chatting and laughing. The smell of grilling meat filled the air, making Leah's stomach growl.
Leah! Pearl! You made it!
Sean's voice called out. He approached, 2 plastic cups in hand.
Here, I grabbed you some drinks. You both look fantastic.
Thanks, Sean, Leah replied, accepting the cup. She took a sip, pleasantly surprised by the fruity cocktail. Pearl smirked, nudging her sister. Leah was worried you'd be disappointed she didn't wear the blue dress. Leah felt her cheeks heat up.
Pearl,
Sean laughed.
No disappointment here.
Yellow is definitely your color, too. As they chatted, more neighbors came over to say hello. Leah found herself relaxing, enjoying the easy conversation and friendly atmosphere. She caught Pearl's eye at one point, sharing a silent moment of gratitude for their accepting community. The afternoon wore on, the sky shifting to warm oranges and pinks as the sun began to set. Leah found herself drifting away from the main group, seeking a moment of quiet. She leaned against a tree, watching the scene before her with a contented smile.
Penny, for your thoughts?
Sean's voice startled her slightly. Leah turned to find him standing nearby, his expression curious. Oh, just thinking about how lucky we are to live here. Everyone's so kind. Sean nodded, moving to stand beside her.
We're lucky to have you and Pearl here, too, you know. You've both brought so much warmth to the community.
Leah felt a flutter in her chest at his words.
That's sweet of you to say. It's true, Sean insisted.
He hesitated for a moment, then continued.
Listen, Leah, I was wondering if maybe you'd like to grab coffee sometime, just the 2 of us.
Leah's breath caught in her throat. She hadn't expected this, hadn't even allowed herself to hope. Sean, You know about me, right? About my past? He nodded, his expression serious. I know, and it doesn't change how I feel. You're an amazing woman, Leah. I'd like to get to know you better, if you're interested. Tears pricked at Leah's eyes. She blinked them back, a wobbly smile forming.
I'd love that, Sean. Thank you.
He reached out, gently squeezing her hand. Thank you for giving me a chance. They rejoined the party, a new energy buzzing between them. Pearl caught Leah's eye, raising an eyebrow at her sister's flushed cheeks and bright smile. Leah just shook her head slightly, mouthing, later. As the evening wound down, neighbors began to disperse. Leah and Pearl said their goodbyes, promising to help with cleanup the next day. They made their way back to their condo, both tired but happy. Once inside, Pearl turned to Leah expectantly. Okay, spill. What happened with Sean? Leah couldn't hold back her grin. He asked me out for coffee, and he knows about me, Pearl.
He knows, and he still wants to get to know me better.
Pearl squealed, pulling her sister into a tight hug. Oh my God, Leah, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. As they separated, Leah's smile faltered slightly. I'm nervous, though. What if it doesn't work out? What if he changes his mind once he really gets to know me? Pearl took Leah's hands in hers, her expression serious. Then he doesn't deserve you. But Leah, give him a chance. Give yourself a chance. You deserve happiness and love just like anyone else. Leah nodded, tears threatening again. You're right, I'm going to try. And hey, maybe your Prince Charming is just around the corner too. Pearl laughed. Or Princess Charming. I'm not picky. The sisters stayed up late into the night, talking about their hopes and dreams. They discussed their plans for saving up for their surgeries, now with renewed determination. The future felt bright and full of possibility. As they finally prepared for bed, Leah paused in the doorway of her room. Hey, Pearl? Yeah?
I'm really glad we're in this together.
I don't think I could do it without you. Pearl smiled softly. Right back at you, sis. We've got this. Leah closed her door, heart full. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but also new opportunities. For the first time in a long while, she felt truly hopeful about what lay ahead. The next morning dawned bright and clear. Leah woke early, her mind already buzzing with thoughts of the day ahead. She padded to the kitchen, starting the coffee maker before settling at the small dining table with her laptop. Pearl emerged from her room a short while later, hair tousled and eyes still heavy with sleep. Morning, she mumbled, making a beeline for the coffee. Morning, sleepyhead? Leah replied, not looking up from her screen. I've been doing some research. Pearl slumped into the chair across from her, cradling her mug. About what? Budget cuts, Leah said, finally meeting her sister's gaze. I think if we're really careful, we might be able to start saving more for our surgeries without moving. This seemed to wake Pearl up fully. She leaned forward, interest piqued. Really? How? Leah turned the laptop so Pearl could see. I've made a spreadsheet. If we cut back on eating out, maybe pick up some extra shifts at work, and I found a few websites with coupons we can use for groceries and stuff. It's not a ton, but it adds up. Pearl scrolled through the document, her expression thoughtful. This is amazing, Leah. You put a lot of work into this. Well, after last night, I don't know, I just felt inspired. Like, maybe things are finally starting to go our way, you know? Pearl reached across the table, squeezing her sister's hand. I know exactly what you mean, and I'm in. Whatever it takes, we'll make this happen. They spent the next hour refining the budget, tossing ideas back and forth. By the time they finished, both sisters felt a renewed sense of purpose and hope. As they cleaned up from breakfast, a knock at the door caught their attention. Leah opened it to find Sean standing there, looking slightly nervous. Hey, he said, offering a small smile. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Not at all, Leah replied, stepping back to let him in. What's up? Sean entered, nodding a greeting to Pearl. I was wondering if you'd like to grab that coffee today. If you're free, I mean. Leah glanced at Pearl, who was already shooing her towards the door. Go. I've got plenty to keep me busy here. Okay, Leah laughed. Let me just grab my purse. As Leah disappeared into her room, Pearl turned to Sean, her expression serious. Sean, I like you, but if you hurt my sister, they'll never find your body. Clear? Sean's eyes widened slightly, but he nodded. Crystal clear. But you don't have to worry, I really care about Leah. I just want to make her happy. Pearl's face softened. Good answer. Leah returned, oblivious to the exchange. Ready to go? Sean offered his arm with a grin. Absolutely. As they left, Pearl called out, Have fun, you two. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Leah's laughter echoed down the hallway as the door closed behind them. The local coffee shop was bustling when Leah and Sean arrived. They managed to snag a small table near the window, settling in with their drinks. So, Sean began, stirring his latte absently. Tell me more about yourself. What do you do for work? Leah took a sip of her cappuccino before responding. I'm a graphic designer. Mostly freelance work right now, but I'm hoping to land a full-time position soon. What about you? I'm in IT, Sean replied. It's not the most exciting job, but it pays the bills. They fell into easy conversation, discussing their careers, hobbies, and dreams for the future. Leah found herself relaxing more and more as time passed. Sean was attentive and genuinely interested in what she had to say. As their cups emptied, Sean leaned forward slightly. Leah, can I ask you something? You don't have to answer if you're not comfortable. Leah tensed slightly, but nodded. Go ahead. What made you decide to transition? I mean, I know it's a deeply personal decision. I'm just curious about your journey. Leah took a deep breath, considering her words carefully. It wasn't really a decision, exactly. More like finally accepting who I've always been. I spent so many years trying to be someone I wasn't. When I finally admitted the truth to myself, it was like this huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Sean nodded, his expression thoughtful.
that must have taken a lot of courage. It did, Leah agreed. And it hasn't always been easy, but I wouldn't change it for anything. Being true to myself is worth all the challenges. Sean reached across the table, gently taking her hand. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think you're incredible, Leah. Your strength and authenticity are inspiring.
Leah felt tears prick at her eyes. She blinked them back, offering a watery smile. Thank you, Sean. That means more than you know. As they left the coffee shop, Sean surprised Leah by asking if she'd like to take a walk in the nearby park. She agreed, and they strolled hand in hand along the winding paths. Can I ask you something now? Leah ventured after a while. Of course, Sean replied. Why me? I mean, there are plenty of women out there without all the complications that come with dating someone like me. Sean stopped walking, turning to face her fully.
Leah, I'm interested in you because of who you are, not in spite of it. Your journey is part of what makes you unique and amazing. I don't see complications, I see strength and resilience.
Leah felt her heart swell at his words. Without thinking, she leaned in and kissed him softly. Sean responded immediately, his arms wrapping around her waist. When they finally parted, both were slightly breathless. Leah laughed softly, resting her forehead against Sean's. I can't believe I just did that. I'm very glad you did, Sean murmured, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. They continued their walk, the air between them charged with newfound energy. As the sun began to set, they reluctantly made their way back to the condo complex. At Leah's door, Sean hesitated. I had a wonderful time today, Leah. I'd love to see you again soon. I'd like that too, Leah replied, smiling. Maybe dinner next time. It's a date, Sean grinned. He leaned in, hugging her softly before bidding her goodnight. Leah entered the condo in a daze, a dreamy smile on her face. Pearl looked up from her spot on the couch, eyebrows raised. Well, how did it go? Leah flopped onto the couch beside her sister. It was amazing, Pearl. He's so kind and understanding. We talked about everything, and he didn't flinch once, and we kissed. Pearl squealed, pulling Leah into a hug. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Tell me everything. As Leah recounted her date, she felt a surge of hope for the future. Things were finally falling into place. With Pearl by her side and Sean's support, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The sisters stayed up late into the night, talking and laughing. They discussed their dreams, their fears, and their hopes for the future. As they finally prepared for bed, Leah paused at her bedroom door. Hey, Pearl? Yeah, thank you. For everything. I couldn't ask for a better sister. Pearl smiled softly. Right back at you, sis. We're in this together. Always. Leah closed her door, heart full to bursting. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but also new joys. For the first time in a long while, she felt truly excited about what lay ahead. As the weeks passed, Leah and Sean's relationship blossomed. They went on more dates, each one strengthening their connection. Leah found herself opening up more, sharing her hopes and fears with Sean. He listened attentively, offering support and encouragement. Meanwhile, Pearl threw herself into their new budget plan with enthusiasm. She picked up extra shifts at work and became a master at finding deals and discounts. The sisters watched their savings grow slowly but steadily, each dollar bringing them closer to their goals. One evening, about 2 months after the barbecue, Leah and Pearl sat at their dining table, poring over their budget spreadsheet. I can't believe how much we've saved already, Pearl marveled, scrolling through the numbers. At this rate, we might be able to schedule our surgeries sooner than we thought. Leah nodded, a mix of excitement and nervousness fluttering in her stomach. It's amazing. I never thought we'd get here so quickly. Pearl glanced at her sister, noting the conflicted expression. Having second thoughts? No, not exactly, Leah replied slowly. It's just, now that it's becoming a real possibility, I'm scared. What if something goes wrong? What if I'm not happy with the results? Pearl reached across the table, taking Leah's hand. Those are all valid fears, Leah. But remember why we're doing this. This is about being our true selves, about finally feeling comfortable in our own bodies. Whatever happens, we'll face it together. Leah squeezed Pearl's hand gratefully. You're right. I know this is what I want. It's just a big step. The biggest, Pearl agreed. But we've got each other, and we've got a support system now. Speaking of which, have you talked to Sean about all this? Leah shook her head. Not in detail. I mean, he knows it's something I want to do eventually, but we haven't really discussed the specifics. Maybe it's time, Pearl suggested gently. He's been so supportive so far. I bet he'd want to know what you're going through. Leah nodded thoughtfully. You're probably right. I'll talk to him soon. The opportunity came sooner than Leah expected. The next evening, Sean invited her over for dinner at his place. As they sat on his couch after the meal, Leah decided it was time to open up. Sean, there's something I want to talk to you about, she began, her voice slightly shaky. Sean turned to face her fully, his expression concerned. Is everything okay? Leah took a deep breath. Yes, everything's fine. It's just, Pearl and I have been saving up for our gender confirmation surgeries, and we're getting close to our goal. I think we might be able to schedule them within the next year. Sean's face lit up. Leah, that's wonderful news. I'm so happy for you both. Leah felt tears prick at her eyes, overwhelmed by his immediate support. Thank you. It's exciting, but it's also scary. There's so much to consider, so many risks. Sean pulled her into a gentle embrace. I can only imagine how overwhelming it must feel. But Leah, you're one of the strongest people I know. You've already come so far. This is just the next step in your journey. Leah buried her face in his shoulder, letting a few tears fall. I am so grateful to have you in my life, Sean. Your support means everything to me. They spent the rest of the evening talking through Leah's fears and hopes. Sean listened attentively, asking questions and offering reassurance. By the time Leah left to go home, she felt lighter, more confident in her decision. As the months passed, Leah and Pearl's savings continued to grow. They researched surgeons, read countless testimonials, and had long discussions about their options. Finally, they felt ready to take the next step. On morning, the sisters sat side by side in a doctor's office, hands clasped tightly together. They were there for their initial consultations, the first concrete step towards their surgeries. As they waited for their names to be called, Leah turned to Pearl. No matter what happens in there, I want you to know how proud I am of us. We've come so far. Pearl smiled, squeezing Leah's hand. We really have, and we're going to keep moving forward together. Leah, a nurse called from the doorway. The doctor will see you now. Leah stood, taking a deep breath. She looked back at Pearl, who gave her an encouraging nod. With newfound determination, Leah stepped forward, ready to embrace the next chapter of her journey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more wonderful content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.